What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. So in this video, we are going to discuss about how to design your first website from scratch. This is a beginner-friendly video. So if you're completely new to web design, then this is the perfect video for you guys. We'll go through wireframing, designing a basic structure of the website, headers, footers, everything that you need. You can follow along with me. Let's get started. Alright guys, so for making websites you have two options. The first option is Figma, which is my favorite tool, and the second one is Canva, which is also very famous. There are a lot of other tools out there, but these two are my top recommendations. For beginners, I would recommend Canva. Why? Because it's more user-friendly. It has drag and drop functionality, and it's easy to use. If you're going for Figma, it's also very easy. But there's a slight learning curve compared to Canva. You have to learn keyboard shortcuts, like pressing F for adding frames, V for selecting objects, moving around, etc. So if you want to go for Figma, that's also fine. By the way, I'll be using Figma in this tutorial, but if you're following along with Canva, you can do that as well. Okay, let's start with wireframing. What is wireframing? Wireframing is basically putting the basic structure of the website. When somebody visits the website, they have a clear idea of where they can find stuff, and it makes navigation easier. Here is an example. You can see that I have a basic structure of the website. This is just a sample site. As you can see, I have header. I have a hero section. I have a call to action button, and I have a footer section as well. In between all of this, you can add multiple sections, but this is the basic structure that you can follow for any type of website. Even if you're creating a personal website or a portfolio website, this is a basic structure that you should follow because it makes navigation really easy for the users. The first step is heading. For this demo, I'm creating a simple landing page. So this is just a single page website. In the future, I might create multi-page websites as well, like blogs, e-commerce stores, etc. For now, I'm just going to focus on single page websites. Alright, so how do you make a header? If you're in Figma, what you can do is you can press M for making a component, or you can press A for adding a new frame. In this case, I'm going to press A for adding a new frame. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the width and the height. You don't have to be precise here because we are wireframing. In the future, when we actually design the website, we will add padding, spacing, margins, all of that stuff. But for now, we just need a basic structure. So I'm just going to make it 1440 by 900. It's totally fine. Then I'm going to select this rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a rectangle at the top because I want to have a header at the top. Just a basic header with some text. You can see that I'm not focusing too much on the design. All I'm trying to do is create a basic structure so that I know where I'm going to put stuff in the future when I actually design the website. So I'm just going to copy this text and paste it inside the header. And then I'm going to resize this header as well. So you can see that I have a header. At the top, I also want to have a navigation bar. So I'm going to add another frame inside of this header frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this frame, and then I'm going to press Command D or Control D for duplicating this frame. So I have two frames now. I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to select this frame, and I'm going to change the name of this to navigation. So I have my header, and I have my navigation inside of the header. For the navigation, you can add multiple pages depending on the website that you're creating. For this demo, I only need 3 pages. So I'm just going to add 3 pages. You can see that I'm not going into detail here. I'm not changing the colors. I'm not changing anything. I'm just adding a basic structure. This is how you can think about wireframing. If you're not using frames, you can also use shapes like rectangles, rounded rectangles, and basic shapes to create a basic structure of the website. Now, let's move towards the next step, which is designing the actual website. So before we move on, let me tell you that if you want to become a professional UI/UX designer, you have to learn how to design for mobile devices as well. So if you're interested in learning that, you can check out my course. Alright, so once you have your wireframe ready, the next step is to design the website. How do you design a website? Well, you can either take classes on YouTube, you can read articles, you can follow tutorials. I would recommend following tutorials in the beginning because you'll get a clear idea of how things are working. So I'm going to create a new frame, and I'm going to call this one Design. This is going to be our actual design. So I'm going to select this design frame, and I'm going to change its width and height to 1440 by 900, just like our wireframe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select both of these frames, the wireframe and the design frame. I'm going to align them to the left. You can see that we have our wireframe on the left and we have our design on the right. On the right side, I'm going to zoom in. That way I have enough space to work with. I'm going to select this wireframe and I'm going to select the header. So I'm going to select this frame and I'm going to change its color to let S say light blue. You can pick any color that you want. Then I'm going to select the navigation and I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to leave the wireframe like this. Now I'm going to focus on the design. So I'm going to select the design frame. I'm going to select this header frame and I'm going to delete it because I want to design the header from scratch. I'm going to select this rectangle tool and I'm going to create a header. You can see that I'm not making it exactly like the wireframe, just taking inspiration from the wireframe. So I'm going to select the text tool and I'm going to add some text. I'm going to change the font and the size of the font. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than the wireframe. Just keep in mind that this is just a basic demo. In real life projects, you have to do way more research. You have to look at your competitors, you have to do user interviews, surveys, usability testing, etc. But since this is a beginner-friendly video, I'm just doing some basic stuff here.
Ace.
So once you have your header ready, the next thing you want to focus on is the hero section. So for this demo, I'm just going to make a basic hero section with a call to action button. Once you have that ready, the next thing you want to focus on is the footer. So for the footer, I'm going to select this bottom frame and I'm going to select this rectangle tool. I'm going to make a footer. Since this is a simple website, I only want to have my contact information in the footer. So I'm going to add a text frame and I'm going to write my details here. Once you have your whole website designed, the next thing you want to do is export your design. How do you export your design? You can simply click on Share, click on the Export, and you can export it as a PNG file. Make sure you select the entire frame and export it. If you don't select the entire frame, you're going to have a blank image. So just select the entire frame, export it, and you're done. And that is how you design your first website. It's really easy. Once you know the basics, you can design anything. Like I said in the beginning, it's hard to learn all of these tools, but once you learn them, it's easy to use them. Practice makes perfect. So keep practicing, and you'll become better at it. If you learn something new, make sure you hit the like button below. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.